Hi everyone, here's what's bothering me today. It is the first official National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, so let's talk a little bit about that. This is a day that was one of the 94 acts outlined in the Human Rights TRC report, basically, that said this is one of the 94 things that we can and should do to help further the goal of reconciliation. And so let's start with the fact that the truth is that only 3 provinces, I think, are celebrating this, and none of the territories are. Now, some are saying they're working with Indigenous groups in their provinces or territories to figure out how to commemorate this day or reconciliation moving forward. But politicians are very prone to say stuff and then never actually follow through on it. I'm pretty sure the only provinces recognizing this day are Nova Scotia, PEI, and Manitoba. And so the truth is that we still have a very long way to go if already many provinces aren't willing to mark this day. But then again, who knows? There may be a valid reason to that. Do we really want this to just become another Canada Day and a statutory holiday of, okay, well, last, day off, so last real day for barbecuing or summer weather, whatever it may be? I really don't think that's what any of us want to happen. If anything, this day should be akin to Remembrance Day, where we take a moment throughout the day to pause and reflect on a real time of horror, real genuine horror, because another truth that we should talk about today is that this was a genocide. Lots of people on the right have tried to spin this as, well, it was with the best of intentions. We've made several videos completely debunking that by this point. You can't judge people by the standards of the time. Even by the standards of the time, people knew this was wrong and terrible. There is no way that any of this is well and truly justifiable, but people will keep trying to move the goalposts. The justifications are always so shallow and terrible and unjustifiable, but people continue to make them because the idea that good old progressive Canada committed a genocide does not sit well with this mythos we've built around ourselves that we've also bought into wholeheartedly. Another truth that should be spoken today is that we are going to continue to see, even though we had some good news yesterday, and that was good news, but we are going to see numerous governments, be they federal or provincial, continue to fight reconciliation while also saying with smiles on their faces that this was a tragedy and we definitely need to work with Indigenous communities to try and heal from this trauma. This is terrible. This was really, really bad. We are so sorry. Please ignore the fact that we are still criminally underfunding you and not actually taking our treaty obligations seriously. The audio is scuffed, but there is still that video from back in the day that I made explaining treaty rights more or less for white people. And that's another truth that should be spoken today, is that there's still solidly about 1 in 3 Canadians who will absolutely rage at this idea. Not just because, the residential school, okay, that was kind of bad, but like, was it genocide? No, it can't be a genocide. These are also the same people who say, fuck, we already give natives enough money, fucking get a job, blah, blah, blah. We've all heard these people. We've gone to school with them. We work with them. We work for these assholes. They are still out there, and they are not going to change unless real meaningful action on reconciliation is made by reaching out to Indigenous communities and actually talking with the residents of these communities and really building bridges and new relationships with these people and learning from the history and sitting with that discomfort. And another truth that's probably going to happen, and I know I'm a little premature in saying this or predicting this, but let's be real here. You are going to see so much performative action in terms of, look at me, I'm one of the good ones, that's going to happen both today and in many days and years moving forward, where under the veneer of actually helping Indigenous people, It's going to be instead about, look how good I'm doing. Look how sweet and generous I am. And that's not reconciliation. If you want to do your part on this day for truth and reconciliation, then give space to Indigenous people. Listen to their stories. Recognize their trauma. Hear their stories, their lived experiences. Talk to them. Empathize with them. Give them space to speak and recognize the wrong that was done. And then hopefully, if enough of us can do that, we can begin. We won't arrive, but we can begin down a meaningful road to reconciliation. And yet, unfortunately, there is a large chunk of the Canadian populace on both the left and the right that really just aren't quite ready to do that yet. And that is what's bothering me today.